Good morning, everybody, and welcome to July's WHA Community Talks. Today we have a wonderful initiative which they will be educating us about how to increase our visibility, our outreach as small holistic practitioners or big medical practices, whoever that is, who's going to be watching this presentation on our YouTube channel later on. There will be takeaways for everybody because every business requires proper outreach, proper visibility, without which the full potential of the business cannot be realized. So it's an important presentation today, and we are all looking forward to learning easy ways in which we can all get our practice a little bit out there. So really excited for today's talk. But before that, let me just introduce Holistic Health Alliance in a few lines. So Holistic Health Alliance is a 501c3 national nonprofit, and we host these free community talks every month with something that is useful to everybody. There are different topics every month and different presenters sharing about different ways of being well and healthy. So do tune in to our monthly talks. You can check our upcoming talks on the website. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook as well as Instagram. We are a platform that brings together holistic practitioners to help them showcase what they're doing, where they're offering their services out of, and what does it entail. So do check our website to see um, uh, different kinds of holistic modalities. And the way the website is set up, you can find one in your own area by searching with zip code or the modality that you're searching for. For example, if you're searching for acupuncture or Reiki, you can just put in those keywords and you'll find somebody in your area. And you can also search with the name of the practitioner that you're interested in seeing. So that is our like the main goal, we can say, for which the organization was started. And I'll quickly show you the website so that you know what it looks like. You just have to type www.holistichealthalliance.org, one word, and you can see the holistic starts with a W. There's a story about it, which you can read if you scroll down. So once again, the website is www.holistichealthalliance.org, one word, and starting with a W. So easy way to land on our website and check out how to join. Just click the button join and you will see easy prompts how you can join. But over the years, we have also started to engage with youth. So right now we have two youth programs or projects, you can say, which are run primarily by the youth for the youth. And we have one of our Youth Brigade presidents here today, Agam Prakash. So we are really excited to have him join today. He's in college now, but it's free to join. You can again find out all the details by just clicking on the join button, and you will see details and prompts on how you can join the platform. And I'll quickly share the join flyers, and then I'll hand over the platform to Asit to present. Give me a minute. So we have two Youth Brigade projects running right now. One is on Teen Mental Health Initiative, which is a very, very important topic and very relevant in today's times. And then the other one is Fooditude project. And sorry, pardon me, the background, it's not fully maximized. Let me do that. Okay, so this is the practitioner join flyer. So if it applies to you, do check out if you practice or if you support holistic practices. This is a platform you should check out. This is a very unique platform. Um, and once you land on the website, you will see the details. And I also want to quickly share the youth join flyer as well. So give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I usually have these things open, but I was running late. I had some calls in the morning. So I'm sorry, but I'm unable to locate the other flyer, but that's fine. I'm just going to uh, share about the project. So we have two projects. One is Teen Mental Health Initiative, and one is the Fooditude project. And as you can imagine, that if the youth of today are aware of uh, all the important things that relate to mental health and how to choose food in a way that is helpful for the body, helpful for nutrition, then they're all set for their adult life, or at least they're better set up for their adult life, because once they land in college, that is where most of the derailment happens. So it's kind of a um, information and empowerment projects, both of these. And again, they are free to join. If you're watching from anywhere in United States, you can join from anywhere. We have children from Chicago, from New York, from New Jersey, and of course, Massachusetts, where the organization is based currently. So with that, I would like to hand over the platform to Asit, who is going to tell us about SINOPIA and primarily what we can do for our business. SINOPIA is the platform that is engaging with many businesses, practices right now. It's a young company, but we will learn from him what we can apply in our individual practices as practitioners. Over to you, Asit. You're on mute, Asit?
All right. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Excellent. So thank you everyone for giving us the opportunity to talk about how to use digital marketing to drive your online leads and potential prospective patient leads. This webinar is more like interactive, so please feel free to ask any questions or ask me to clarify anything that you may be interested in. Before we get started, I just quickly wanted to make sure that we share a little bit about ourselves. So we, the team has collectively over 50 years of combined digital marketing experience. We have over 100 clients all spread out around the world, with a lot of them being in the US and Canada. And the team is based out of Boston and Delhi, where we have about 85 people in total supporting the digital marketing services platform that we have built out for our clients. Really, let's talk about why you are listening into this webinar or why you're interested in this topic, right? As a business practitioner, whether you're a solo practitioner, a small practice, or a large practice, you're really interested in having more patient traffic. You're really interested in ensuring that you can sort of understand the effort and expense involved, and it's predictable, it's manageable, right? So it's kind of very obvious that when you talk about how do I grow my business, you probably have heard, oh yeah, go do digital marketing. But what is digital marketing? That is sort of the focus for what we will talk about today. And as was said earlier, before the webinar started, that really, whether you're a small practice, large practice, you're essentially looking to see how can I continue to gain prospective patients? How can I get my word, my name out there? It was mentioned, put in some keywords around certain modalities, and you should be able to find a service provider near you. This is all part of digital marketing. And in the conversation today, we'll try and unpack how to go about getting that level of capability for your own website or for your own business practice. Simply put, digital marketing is a set of activities that makes it easy for your practice to be found online by prospective patients. There's a lot of different activities that happen, everything from the search engine optimization, and you have probably heard of all these buzzwords or keywords or terms. So again, I may be sort of repeating myself, but you've probably heard of, oh yeah, SEO is important, search engine optimization is important. Run Google Ads, which falls into search engine marketing. Do something on Facebook, that's social media marketing. Make sure people are able to find near me, so that's local search. A lot of these things are part of what is digital marketing, and we will try and unpack as to how can you go systematically addressing each of these things, because collectively they may feel overwhelming. I thought all I had to do was put up a website and everything's going to be okay. Well, yes, that's your starting point, but there's a lot of different activities that have to happen for that website to truly perform, and we will cover those. So if you feel a lot of words have been thrown at you in these first few slides, just bear with me as we sort of unravel the secret sauce behind digital marketing today. As I said earlier, your website is your lead generation engine. It has to work for you while you're sleeping, while you're on a vacation. The website is really the anchor around which your digital presence is established. When someone searches for an acupuncture specialist near me or an acupuncture specialist in San Antonio, Texas, it is really the website which has got to be the primary anchor point that should show up. Yes, you can have a Facebook page, you can have some sort of web reference, but having a website becomes very important. And I think it's very, very important that in this day and age, website is treated as almost the same way as perhaps business cards used to be 20 years ago. Your website communicates a certain quality, certain credibility about who you are and what you do. Just as a physical office that you may have communicates a certain statement about the kind of practitioner you are and the kind of care you take of your patients, your website should reflect the same in the digital world. Once you've got the website up and running, it's very important that it be discoverable, meaning your site should be more visible on Google, Bing, and other search engines. Why? Because that is what will bring more traffic, more people to you. I'm sure all of you have done Google search. When you do Google search, you see something that looks what you see on the left side of the page. You can see something where you'll see some listings, maybe a link or two. For example, in this particular case, as I did a search for naturopathic doctor in Brooklyn, Dr. Mara's website came up. So this individual has done some really good work to have that first rank in Google search results. And understand this, it's very, very important, because I'll share some statistics with you. The first link that shows up will get about 40% of the total search traffic that's out there. Link number 2, you're probably down to something like 30%. Link number 3, you're down to like 11%. And so you can imagine if you're link number 10 or 20 on Google search results, you're probably getting less than 1% of the traffic that was searching for those keywords. So it's very important that your website has the right coding, the right content on your site, so that it signals to Google, which is the market leader in search, that your site is a credible source for users searching for information online, and that is how to prioritize and share with them. To deliver strong SEO ranks, your website needs to demonstrate expertise. So when you're talking about being a Reiki specialist or an acupuncture specialist, do you have the right content? Do you have the right material for visitors to read that says, yes, this person is an expert? Are you an authority? An authority in this case is a little bit different than what you would kind of consider from credentials. So here, what we're talking about is your website an authority, which means how many other websites around the internet link back to your site. Think of it as almost like paper citation. So the more publications cite your paper as a source material, it's kind of the same way your site has to perform, where authority is determined by how many other websites and domains are referring back to you. And lastly, like I said, having strong technical performance so that the site loads faster, it has the right metadata and title so that Google and other search engines can read it. They're not humans. Nobody's at Google reading your site. It's essentially technology crawlers that are designed to read the site using the right core web vitals, metadata, etc. So now that you've got your website, you've got the organic search engine efforts, search engine optimization efforts going, let's talk about what else can you do to reach more people? This is where paid media ads, Google ads that you often hear about, come into play. You can easily set up your account online, put your credit card and run Google ads. It's very important that, however, you practice a few basic tips and tricks to make sure your ads are performing strong. First one, make sure you're targeting the relevant keywords. Of course, if you're a naturopath, you want to make sure that you're focusing on relevant services that you provide. Secondly, make sure you're targeting the appropriate demographics at the right time. As an example, we see a lot of clients who, set up a Google ad account and they put in something like $10 a day, and it's running every day $10. The problem is that if it's a long weekend, for example, most people are not looking to set up medical appointments. They're going visiting family. So you can turn off your ads at that point and save on the spend. Secondly, for example, nobody is online searching at 2 a.m. in the morning for naturopath. That is a very specialized use case. So the reality is that if you're running your ads for 24/7, you may be having a lot of exposure that does not result in any leads or traffic for you. Finally, I always recommend a very strong geofencing. What that means is, if your service market is about 15 to 20 miles from where you are, then make sure your ads only run in that space. So for example, if you're based out of Massachusetts, Boston, running your ads in, say, Texas, or running your ads even in New York City is not productive, because very unlikely that a patient from New York City is going to come by to a practitioner in Massachusetts. By doing these basic things, you can continue to optimize your budget spend so that you're getting the maximum amount of opportunity for the money you're spending. And that requires disciplined, analytics of the campaign you're running, and ensuring that you can track the data through proper tag management on your website. The other key aspect that we do emphasize for practitioners such as yourself is having a strong local search results presence. You all may have heard of Google My Business profile page, but think about this. In this day and age, we all use a mobile device as a primary device. The first thing we do is, if I want to search for a restaurant, I'm looking for restaurant by cuisine, or I'm looking for a restaurant near me. So having a strong focus on local search not only improves the traffic, but also reduces your costs, because you're not showing results for markets that are not relevant to you. Because remember, we all as users want to be doing things in a convenience zone, as I call it, right? So if you're looking to go out for dinner this evening, you're probably not going to drive 50, 60 miles. You want to go somewhere nearby. So having that local search being optimized allows Google to show your results when it is relevant. And again, I would very strongly emphasize that a lot of these things with Google is about making sure that you're maintaining and regularly updating your information. So while your practice name, your practice hours are not something that change on a daily, monthly basis, having some relevant, useful information, such as postings, blogs, etc., becomes very important for maintaining good results with Google for your website. Which means that you should have quality content created regularly. We've covered this, having the right topics, the right keywords, that's very important. But I think what is often forgotten, it's not the quantity of content you create, it's the quality of content you create and the consistency with which you create it. Google, Facebook, all of these platforms, their algorithms are looking for how often do you update, and what kind of content do you update with. So it's very important that even if you write one blog a month, you do write one blog a month. It's not as effective in your results if you take for 1 month, you really focus and you write 5, 6 blogs for your website, and then don't revisit any of your website blogs for the next 3, 4 months. Google, Facebook will see you as an unreliable content creator, and they would reduce the rank results for your website, because again, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all of these platforms, they want to make sure that they're serving relevant content and engaging content to their visitors. And this is the other interesting aspect about writing content. You have to remember you're writing content for consumption by humans. So please make sure that when you're writing content, you're writing in a voice, in a tone that is easily readable by your prospective patient, but also certain best practices need to be followed so that your content is also easily read by the Google crawlers, which is software that essentially looks for certain keywords and certain meta titles and descriptions, etc. And this also kind of rounds out a very important aspect that, look, we don't need to be very aggressive on Facebook and Instagram, but they're very important platforms for maintaining local community relevance. You all may be, and probably even in your personal life, using Facebook community groups. Depending on where you live, you may have community groups that talk about events happening in your local community. They may have marketplaces for your local community, important alerts and updates. So same thing. I mean, just kind of having a healthy presence for your Facebook page, targeting the local communities that you are in becomes very important. And again, like I said, it's not about quantity. It is really about consistency and disciplined posting on these platforms. Finally, when you're doing all of this, it's very, very important that you track, analyze, and optimize. Only when you track your results do you know whether it's working or not. When you see what's working, you can really double down on that kind of effort. So for example, you see that a blog was able to generate some more than its fair share of traffic. There may be keywords in that blog that really resonated, or key phrases in that blog that really resonated with your patient population. So you may want to create more content around those keywords or key phrases. And then, for example, you might find that a certain video or a certain post of yours is getting a lot of traction. So you may want to optimize for that post, for that video, to generate more traffic to your site. The point being that website digital marketing comes down to a lot of disciplined execution of the basics. There's a lot of things that you can do every day. So most of you, right, go in once a month, make sure you update some content, clean up some content on your website. Make sure that you add things that you talk to your patients about. Again, obviously you cannot talk about sensitive information, but kind of you may be hitting trends or themes that come up. For example, allergies. So when the allergy season starts, are you kind of posting, maybe even if it's small, 5, 6, 100 words paragraph on your website about allergy season and how to kind of ensure healthy, practices during allergy season, things like that. These are very important things that allow your website to become a proper lead generation tool for you. At the end of the day, all of this only makes sense if you are doing this in a disciplined execution way. Remember, like your business, developing your website requires a roadmap, so that how do I make my website more relevant, more visible, and more engaging for prospects coming over to my website, whether it's about constantly updating data, constantly updating content, adding, tidbits or snippets of information that may be relevant to your patient population, and ensuring that you're kind of keeping a very disciplined execution around regularity and consistency with which you approach your website. I'll just quickly show you a case study that probably may help. I mean, this is a medical practice. They were doing really okay, but they were kind of struggling to get new patient traffic, right? And one of the key things is, as we worked with them, we realized was they really didn't have a focus on services that they were offering. Very importantly, finding the website and kind of being able to book an appointment, you had to kind of click through 2 or 3 different screens to get there. So as an example, you can see that for we redesigned the site so that it was mobile responsive, because remember, today, everybody is using their mobile phone first before they even open the laptop. So you need to be able to have something that's easily usable on mobile. So as you can see in this particular case, we gave a prominent call button, a prominent calendar button, book an appointment, call out, et cetera, so that you could see that their traffic increased. They were able to reduce their ad spend while also generating a healthy number of leads from the website. Like I said, I really wanted to make sure that we kind of covered this topic, which can get very dense, but in a very sort of simple approach. I know that you may all be very curious about additional resources, so I'm going to share this slide deck with you all. But I did include links to some publicly accessible websites and resources that you can read up on. For example, if you're looking to write a blog, go to blog.hubspot.com. They've got a pretty good collection of blogs that you can read about best practices. If you're looking at, what kind of keywords should I focus on, Google has a very good keyword planner tool, which is free and openly available that you can access. Similarly, if you're looking at some other resources like, hey, I need to improve my design on my site, or I need to improve my logo or something like that, I really like this ASU, which is Arizona State University. They actually have a very good compilation of publicly accessible resources online for improving web traffic and web analytics, etc. So please feel free to use any of these resources that you may think like. And with that, I thank you for your time and patience. I'm open to any questions now, or if you need to reach out to me in the future, you have the contact information. But if there are any questions, I think I can address before I turn back to Pratibha you.
Would you like to stop sharing, Asad? Yeah, thank you. This is really good. I mean, all of us, are doing our own business, and we think that somehow the word will get out there. But I think we have to learn about how technology works, how Google searches work. Does not happen on its own. We have to feed it. So, any questions? I think this is very, very helpful. You are comfortable sharing the slide deck, right?
Yes, I'll send that to you. And just one thing I'll quickly comment. I mean, remember, Google is now about 25 years old, roughly, and just under 25-year-old as a company, right? And as you all know, with technology, things accelerate at an exponential scale. We're already talking about AI and artificial intelligence, and you're seeing tools that you can use to create, easily do a lot of jobs that took manual labor. So things have evolved. However, one thing which is very consistent, whether it is digital marketing or running a business, being very, very methodical, very focused, and very disciplined still remains. So even if you're doing nothing more than just maintaining your own website, just be very disciplined about having a good practice where once a month I'm going to go in and write a 250, 500 word blog, or write some article, or add some link. Even if you do that basic stuff, that'll help your business a lot.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to try and do that, which I have not done. I have been very, very poor at that. So it's a good reminder. Susan, Beth, do you have any questions?
I have one question, and I really liked learning about the fact that to become an authority, you have to have really good backlinks back and forth. So that was something new that I learned. But my question is you see a lot of social branding companies, digital marketing companies, where they talk about pros and cons of using items like ChatGPT to like write some of your material versus someone who is just individually writing their own material. What can you say on that subject?
Sure.
Because I do like to write and blog, and I not that I have a fear of AI, but I don't like AI. I'll just be honest, but I know it's here.
And that's a great question, Beth. Thanks for bringing that up. So actually, starting March, Google started deprioritizing AI generated content. So what happened was, as ChatGPT really came to the scene early last year, suddenly a lot of people started using ChatGPT type tools to create content at scale, put it out there. And Google quickly realized what was happening was that a lot of that content was low quality or not even relevant, right? And so in March of this year, they essentially made a very conscious decision that any website that has content which has been blindly generated using AI will be deprioritized. Now, this leads to two key points. How do they know it's AI generated? Okay. And B, what are they looking for it, even if it's AI generated? So most of these AI tools are kind of writing basic English. If you look at it, you'll see short sentences, you'll see the same words repeated over and again. So Google has algorithms, and there are other tools also, which will be able to determine to a reasonable degree how much of this is AI driven. But the bigger problem that Google said was, look, Bethy, your time is important. You don't want to go to a website that just is a cut and paste that you saw in 10 different places. So that's the part about blindly generating content. So if you want to use Chat GPT, use it as what I call a draft, like an enter. Have it you can give it some outline. If you have a writer's block, give it some outline, it'll generate a draft for you. But then from there, that draft has to be edited by you. My first recommendation, don't use AI. Always write what you are comfortable writing, because your genuine voice is very important to the patients who choose you. Secondly, if you are using AI tools, use them as an intern at best to give you something like a starting point, but then heavily edit it, because just changing a few words here and there is not going to be a good enough answer. And make sure that you, anytime you're using source from the website, from other websites, you put a citation, just as you would do in an academic paper, because Google likes that relevance to say this person is genuine. So the long and short answer is, for blogs, do not use AI. For Facebook and social, you are okay using AI, because Facebook and social is not about genuine content. Blogs, your website, is a true reflection of who you are. Avoid using AI there. Hope that helps, Beth.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. These days, you try to type anything in the search bar, the first sections that come up are AI generated. So AI is here, but I think it's an evolving area. And yeah. So it's, I think we are not being replaced anytime soon. So we need to continue to use our own knowledge and expertise to continue to share it properly as who we are, representing us. I wanted to ask a question, Asad. People like us who are like smaller practitioners compared to medical practitioners who have, a different setup of income and everything. Do you have any models of uh, getting your services for holistic practitioners? Or if you don't, would you consider that, having a different package for single standalone practitioners? Because those are the kind of practitioners we mostly have in Holistic Health Alliance.
Okay. So actually, SINOPIA started out by supporting single practitioners. The vast majority of, actually, I can say with confidence, almost 95% of all our clients are actually one or two location offices. So, someone who has a practice and say, I'm making this up at Cambridge, and then you are, a couple of days running an office out of Brooklyn, right? That kind of practice. So we do work with those. That was kind of the key innovation we did in the service model. Traditionally, as a small practitioner, you would engage with a website developer, then you would engage with a content writer, then you would manage a Google ad agency. You would be all over the place. So that's the modification we did, was where we kind of created a subscription model, where we essentially provide all of the services under one roof. So when we work with our clients, we're really part of their team in terms of supporting them from a marketing perspective. So digital marketing, obviously, we can't support you on events or local events that you're organizing, but we support you in digital marketing. And so we do have some, service pack models around that. One thing I'll recommend to everyone on the call is, look, it is very easy to see your website as a cost center. Creating a good website can, depending on how much content you have or what you're trying to do, can go anywhere from $1,000 to, $2,000-$3,000, right? It comes across as a cost center. But in reality, in this day and age, it is a very important lead generation engine. So even if you don't do anything professionally, do not skimp out on having a proper site developed, because there are tools, content management systems that allow you to manage your own site, but the technical aspect of optimizing the site for search engine, that is a technical skill set which requires proper experience. So I would very strongly recommend that. But more than happy to talk offline if anyone's interested, because we do support, like I said, 95% of all our clients are actually 1 or 2 location practices, medical practices, chiropractors, physiotherapists, holistic practices. So we have a lot of those. That's where we specialize in.
Beautiful. Thank you. Susan, you have any questions or comments?
No, I'm enjoying the talk. I think it's a lot of very good information. But I don't have any particular questions. I think he has answered quite a few questions that I did already have.
Look, and like I said, I mean, I have my contact information in the slide, so please feel free to reach out. I've added some public reference links, so you can read those links. And, if anything you really feel like, we absolutely believe, I mean, like you, I'm also a small business. I mean, at the end of the day, let me be very honest. I mean, we're, 80 people, yes, but that doesn't make me a massive company. So I understand where you all have been, where you all are, because I am in a very similar boat. So the idea is that, that's why we created SINOPIA, to focus on that kind of business. We don't work with large corporations because that requires a different mindset. Our focus, I've had situations where clients came to me like, oh, I'm opening a new location. Can you help me out with that? And we ended up, creating digital assets for them just to support their growth. Because if you grow, we grow. So that's really our focus with that.
Beautiful.
Thank you very
Yes, thank you so much. One question that comes to mind is SEOs, which are so important. Is this something an individual can do effectively on their own, or is it always a better thing to engage somebody?
Yeah, look, I mean, none of this is like launching a rocket to Mars. So most of this you can do on your own, and you should actually, even if you're outsourcing, you should be actively engaging with your outsourced freelancers or agencies who you want to use. However, like I said, it still goes back to being disciplined about it. What we see is, someone will like write 2-3 blogs and then kind of not do anything for the next 3 or 4 months. Now, for SEO, forget everything else we talked about. Just keep it very simple. You talk to your prospects and patients every day. You know the common things that they are talking about. Write about it on your website, whether you're writing in their services section, whether you're writing it about in your blog, whether you're creating a Facebook page. Write about it as if you're having a dialogue with a friend. That that is in itself a very strong way of building SEO. Like I said, the challenge though is, being disciplined about it, being consistent. And then of course you go down the rabbit hole, because there are technical aspects of SEO that keep evolving. So being able to, find the time to refresh yourself. I mean, you're all medical practitioners. I mean, how much work you have to do to stay current on the latest scientific thinking around your subject of expertise. It's kind of the same way with us, right? We have to do a lot of work to make sure we're aware of what is Google doing, what is Bing doing, why, what are they changing, so that we can then try and understand. Because again, Google and Bing do not share their secret sauce. So there's no one person who can tell you this is exactly what Google does. That's their way of making money. So it's kind of the same thing that we have to read up a lot and spend a lot of hours keeping up our own skills. But at the end of the day, I mean, look, you can create your own website, you can manage it. You have to look at it and say, is this the best use of my time, or is there, or how far can I go on as an individual before I need to bring in expert help?
Well said. Well, thank you so much, Asit. I hope people will watch it. I'm going to put it on the event page and, of course, our YouTube channel. So hopefully people will watch and understand the value of.
And I'll email you the PDF document after this so that you can
Thank
share
you.
with Beth and Susan, so if they have any other questions. Okay.
Thank you. No, I'll put it on our event page as well so that other people can. PDF is always tough to share.
Well, we can talk about it offline. Let me know
Yeah,
what
see
format.
if you can save it as images.
Yeah.
How many slides is it?
Oh, it's only, I mean, I'll condense it down to it's only about 15 slides cover to cover.
Okay.
So I can
So
probably condense it down short.
just
I'll
for
give you a short-
social media, I think JPEG
Yeah.
is easier if you can
Yeah.
save it
I'll
as
send you
JPEG,
some
but
symbols.
do send it as PDF as well.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Susan, Beth, for joining.
Thank you. This was great.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Agam. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very nice talk. I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everyone. I'm going to stop recording now.